Okay. All right, guys. So we have almost 300 people on here. I'm so excited to just be talking for like 2 short minutes. And then these fabulous ladies are going to give you guys an amazing training. So let me just tell y'all kind of what to expect. This is a training not just for specific systems, okay? You guys are really going to learn, and if you're just hopping on here, please take down your video. It'll make it super easy for me. But when you guys are looking at how to really prioritize your business and how to work your business, there's a lot of things that, see, Justin, look at this. It's like the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's a lot of things that we need to be focused on as business owners to help you systematically run a business. And so what I'm the most excited about for you guys to hear tonight are 3 women that work their businesses completely different, which is super, super cool. Something that I've realized, and the reason why I think a lot of people aren't doing systems is because you're not making them work for you, and you're just flat out printing out a system because that's the easiest thing to do, right? Is to click on the Google Drive and print out a system with your time. But instead of taking the time to make a system work for you, you're just printing something somebody has done. That is not the way you think, right? It's not the way your brain works. And so Queenie, Michele, and Felicia tonight are going to share with y'all how they work, little tips on things that have helped them systematically get to the levels that they're at in their business, okay? Quenna Tillman is a director, Michele Hall's a director, and Felicia Rhodes is a star director. And I'm just really excited for you guys to hear systems that work for them, because guess what? None of them use any of my systems. None of them use any of the systems you guys have ever seen. And I'm so excited about that, because I think that you guys need to understand that success with your system lies in how you customize it and how you really make it work for you. And so without further ado, who would like to start it off? Queenie? All right, we're gonna spotlight her. So Queenie, just go ahead and just introduce yourself, and you're gonna go on.
Oh, I'm so nervous. Okay, so they call me Queenie, but my first name is Quenna. Queenie is my mom's name. Known Chloe for a very long time. I was actually her cheerleading coach. Y'all may or may not have known that story, but yeah, it's been a long time. So when Chloe asked me to do this, I was like, what do I have to offer? And she was like, people need to know how you're, personalizing your systems for you. A lot of my girls on my team often ask me, and for me, it's like, just do something, it's a system, pick a system. But I realized, especially with the pandemic, that it's just something that you have to personalize to yourself. So I made a few points to kind of help you guys find your own system that works for you. The first thing I would say is be you and do you. And this goes for everything. So when we were planning, I was like, a lot of this stuff kind of falls into other areas of your business. And so when I say be you, do you, that means the personalized be you, number one. So when you're being yourself on Facebook, Instagram, people are attracted to you. I cannot do Chloe. I cannot do Chastity. I cannot do Michele and Felicia. I have to be me, authentically me. And so with that, you have to carry that over to your systems. So for me, when the systems first came out, I'm a teacher. I'm an EC teacher. So I mean, that kind of systems, okay, I'm gonna print everything out. I had the binder ready, went and bought all this stuff and did the binder, didn't do it. I went and bought the Happy Plan the first time, didn't do it. Went and ended up making my own binder. That started to work for me. And so that's when it kind of clicked for me that I had to personalize it for myself, because Chloe kept asking me, what systems are you using? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just doing this and that. So you have to realize where you are and literally think about how your brain thinks and personalize your system for you. And for your lifestyle, for your business. I'll give you a prime example. I had gotten to a place where the Happy Planner was working for me, but then COVID hit. So guess what? All these systems didn't work. And so guess what? I couldn't do those anymore. I had to adapt. So my next point is, if it's not working, to stop it. It's not working, so stop it. So when COVID hit, before COVID hit, I had my happy planner, and I'm going to share what I do in my happy planner and my system things. But I had my planner, and it worked for me because I was going to work. And in the morning, before I drink my coffee, I would yada, 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 check off, do this, do that. And it worked. But when COVID hit and I was home working, trying to do the systems, it just did not fly. And I had to immediately adjust. So don't be afraid to stop what you're doing if it's not working. If you try something and it's not working, just stop it. Try something else. And so that is, I think, the key thing. A lot of people say, I don't know where to start. I don't know when should I start. Start today. Start tonight. Start tomorrow. Just start. And if it doesn't work, keep tweaking it until it works for you. What's that?
I'm sorry. That's probably
Oh,
mine.
that scared me. Number 3, I said, what kind of system user are you? Like, you have to know how your brain works and how it ticks. And when you talk to each of us, you'll see that me and Michele actually think the same way, but it's dispersed or is put out differently. So for me, I'm a pencil, not pimper. I'm a pencil and paper type of person. And so you have to think of what's going to work for your routine, what's going to work for your lifestyle. How is this going to be easy for you? Because the whole key is for this to be fluid. I work full time. I have 3 children. I have a husband. We're heavily involved in church. We have all these activities. Usually they're in sports. I'm doing we have a mentoring program. So we have all these different things, and I can't take the time to do all these different systems that are not working. It's a waste of time. I have to do something that's efficient, and that's going to be boom, boom, boom. So I'm a paper and pencil type of chick, and with the dash. So I said I'm a paper and pencil type of chick with a dash of sticky notes and a planner insert. So that's me. That's how my mind works. And so I'm going to walk you through how my systems work and how I implement my systems for me. I love sticky notes because it's a quick way to get my thoughts out. I have people constantly texting me and messaging me about orders, and it's an easy way for me to write it down, stick it in my planner, boom, stick it on my laptop. That's my favorite place, and I can see that immediately. The first thing that I do every morning is write down my numbers. So I'm gonna tear my page out, my happy planner, because I do have the hole punch. This right here, y'all may have heard me say this, but this is gold. If you're not tracking your numbers daily, do it. I don't care if it's just your own numbers, do it. I hate that I waited so long to track numbers. And when I look back at my journey with Cincy, I've been tracking my numbers for a while. I just didn't track them daily. I was tracking them every so often and not as consistent. Why is it important to track your numbers every day? Number 1, it puts me in a routine. So every morning I know that's what I'm doing. I'm checking my workstation, I'm tracking my numbers, and it puts me in a routine. Even when I go to work, I have my planner out and I track my numbers. That's the first thing I do at work before I start anything in my planning period. Again, the reason why it's important is because by tracking my numbers, when I say there's so much information and data that you can get from tracking your own numbers, it's ridiculous. I literally can look at my numbers on my team and say what we're going to produce for the month. I know how my team works. I know the trends of my team. So for instance, I know someone whose team, they don't work to the end of the month. My team does. My team works to 2 a.m. the last day of the month. Every month they work to the end. So we may start off at 20,000 and end at 30,000 by the end of the night because my team works. And the only way I know that is because I track my numbers. I knew that the first tracker that came out where it tracked director numbers, well, on this day, if you have this much, you're going to hit numbers. That wasn't true for me. How did I know? Because I tracked my numbers. I knew that if my team had 3,000, 4,000, or 5,000 before the 15th, that we were good because my team works into the wee hours of the night, the end of the month. So I also can see where our weaknesses are. I can see if we're having a heavy sponsoring month, if we're having a bang out sales month, and I put notes on the side. So like, for instance, we hit numbers earlier than usual, I put that on the side. Or I put, there's a join special this month. I put exactly different little notes so I can kind of keep track. So just from this month and last month, I already knew by the 15th, we were way ahead because we had killed it from what we did last month. which last month was one of our best months. Well, it was our best month we had ever had, and we already passed that, like earlier in the month. So that is the importance of tracking your numbers. I think that is probably one of the things that keeps us consistent. Like we're a very consistent team. I don't even have to think about D numbers anymore because we're so consistent. The second thing that I do is I go to reports and then to team tab. And I don't know if I could pull this up, Chloe, or not. Remember we talked about this? I can pull this up. So if y'all on my team.
You should be able to share your screen, Queenie. Can you share your screen?
I think so. Let me see. How do I, last time I shared and I saw it. Oh, here it is. Okay, guys, so you disabled it.
No, I did not disable it.
Host disabled participant screen sharing.
Hold
on. Okay. What I want to show you guys.
on. Now tell us.
Now try it.
Okay. Uh-oh, where y'all go? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is show you guys how I literally go in my workstation. I'm not gonna show you my team's information. So if you guys are on here, just take a deep breath. I'm not gonna show anything. I just wanna show how I look. So I log into my workstation. I literally click on reports. Is it gonna click? It's slow, Lord have mercy. And some of these things like Michele, who is a rock star, she was like, oh my God, I didn't even know that was there. So I think this is important for you guys to know because it's very beneficial to tracking your numbers and kind of knowing what your team does. So I click on team first. And this is just my routine. And if it'll load, I have these 3 things that I look at. I look at this chart, I look at the top sales and the top sponsors. How you add these things is this little area right here. You click, financial trend is the chart. Top sales, you click on it, you add, click on it, add, click on it, add. But this chart is full of knowledge, okay? So I already can tell that this year we're on the up and up. This purple is last year. If you have a director under you, you can do GWV, you could do your PRV, see how it adjusted? You could do your PRV. My PRV is on up and up for this month. So it's a quick way visually to track where you are as a team and individually where you are. It's a quick way to see, okay, top sales, who's banging it out right quick? Who's sponsoring right quick? The next thing I do, I don't know if I can go to the other part. Can I go to the other part and show how I do my reports? I can't? Okay.
Well, if there's numbers, I'll have it to where Justin will blur it out so we can get it on YouTube. So y'all don't worry.
Okay.
Y'all are the only ones that.
So team, I'm sorry. I just want to teach you guys all the good stuff. The next thing that I do is I go back to reports and I go to, if it'll pull up, I go to my reports tab. Did I put all that blue stuff up there? And I look at our numbers, generally. So I have to come here to see how many people joined our team and all that good stuff, how many active frontline. But on the side, I have created all these reports as a quick reference. 3 that are very essential to me is a will cancel list. When we do have the cancel list, because I email them maybe 2 to 3 times during the month to give them ideas and try to motivate them, is your front line, because that's how I do my pay by hand. So this is what I use to figure out what I'm getting paid for the month and to put my eyes on what our team, what my front line is actually doing. Also, it's a quick way for you to send an email just to your front line. The third thing, almost active, I'm a stickler and a believer in people doing the bare minimum, the basics, because if you're not at least doing that, then what are you doing? That's just how I think. So I believe that everybody should at a minimum be getting active every month. So I have a list, and already this month, because I have that list, I clicked on it, email everybody, and I talked to everybody on that list like, hey, you're almost active. And several people responded back and they're getting active. You can make any kind of form or report on this side. So I look at that. And the second thing I do is I go ahead and pull my whole report. And me and Chloe call this the double click. And this is literally my routine every day that I do. I do the double click, and my computer is a little slow. So we'll see how this works. Jess is going to have to do a lot of
Yeah, we'll blur it out. So look, and if you're on Queenie's team, I promise you this is a good training resource. We have to have it. He'll blur it out, but we've got to show you the numbers so you can understand what we're talking about.
Okay, now it's moving. Okay, so I'll call this a double click. You click twice, and it's cutting up, guys. I'm sorry. Shoot. It's frozen. Maybe it'll click.
Click it again.
Okay, let me try it one more time. I'm sorry, folks. maybe it'll get right. But normally what you do is, oh, page is unresponsive. You double click and it will shift all the higher end numbers. So when you double click once, it shifts it from lowest amount to the highest amount. When you shift it twice, when you double click twice on any column, it'll reverse it and do highest to lowest. And the reason why I do that is because I immediately see who's leading the pack. I immediately see who has a top TWV, and then I can say, oh, you're only such and such away from, it's cutting up. I'm sorry, y'all, but that's what it was. So that's what I do every, what in the world? Oh, there it go. Oh yeah, it's gonna work. Woo woo. But then you can immediately get your eyes on it. I'm a visual person. I know Fifi is too. But immediately you can see that. I don't have to go searching for anything. I can immediately say, okay, boom, boom, boom. I do have another trick to teach you guys. I'm gonna have to go back to the other reports if this ever works. A trick that I learned from doing these reports, especially the team report tab, is say the system is acting a little cranky. I'm gonna see if it'll let me go back. It may or may not. Say the system is acting a little cranky. That chart I showed you, 9 times out of 10, that chart is always like adjusted. So for instance, say I go here and say that you know how you go to the dashboard and you want to see where your numbers are. You want to see if your team has sold during this pre-order summer collection thing, and it hasn't shifted. A lot of times it has shifted right here. So you can hover right there and it'll show you the numbers. So I always go here first when something's going on funky with the dashboard. And I'm like, oh, we done moved up. And then it'll adjust on the dashboard. So that's a quick tip. I'm gonna try to show you guys one more time and see if it'll work. And then I'm gonna move on to my other points if not. But a lot of times I find a lot of people don't know how to work their way around the workstation. So this is a double click. There it go. Okay, so immediately I can see who my top people are right here. Immediately, they're already shifted up to the front. Once you have 2 different teams, this will just be your team. And then when you go down here to the bottom, something I learned the hard way, start downline report, then it'll have everybody in it. So that was something that I had to learn when I had a director under me, and I was I guess new to having a director under me. I didn't realize that these reports separated because they were the same for so long. So that's for the new folks. So I know they had asked that in a last training. The other thing that I do, talk about that. Oh, I did create oh, stop sharing. Sorry, guys. Woo. The other thing that I look at is almost certified. That's a new tab that I added because that immediately helps me put my eyes, especially during the incentive period, on everyone who's almost certified to kind of give them a push to get that extra 5% bonus and raise. The things that I do, I use my frontline report to determine my check. So I literally print off my front. I do the double click, but I use the double click in the rank or title column, because then that puts the essentials and certified first, and then it goes all the way down. I just do everybody that way. And that's how I tally up my pay by percentages. I choose to do that because it makes me get excited, and it shows me from a it shows me the potential and possibilities of what we can make. It's just something that excites me. Everybody doesn't like to do that. And I figured it out a long time ago. Chloe used to pick on me like, what in the world? How'd you figure it out? I'm like, girl, I don't play with my money. Got to know where my money's coming from. The other thing that I do is so elementary, guys, is I have a notebook that I keep around. Literally, I have notebooks everywhere. But a good old-fashioned notebook is what I keep around, especially because right now I'm at home. I have 2 jobs at home. I'm all over the place. I got my EC paperwork, my Cincy stuff. My office is a mess. But I have this notebook. So for instance, I'm starting this right now. Like I just do something simple like that. Or I had another paper that I was showing Chloe and them that I do. I'll do a checklist or print off a sheet and just keep tallies of what I need to do or who I need to speak with. It kind of gives me a quick way to find out what's going on. Plus, I have everything in this notebook. Like if I'm taking down an order or keeping up with a party, I just have everything in this notebook. So say I go run down the street and I want to use my extra 10 minutes to work in my business, all I need is my notebook and I'm good. I love sticky notes. Like I have them everywhere. If y'all looked at my office, y'all would be like, oh my God, this girl's crazy. Because when I'm done, I ball them up and I throw them away. So I know I've accomplished that goal for the day. What else I have? A keep notebook. Oh, and if something or anything we're giving you does not work, guess what? Make it your own. That is the biggest thing, an issue I see with everybody. They're like, oh, I don't know where to start, or this system, or da-da-da-da. You have to try it to see if it's going to work. I literally don't feel like some of the systems are working for me. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm making forms and systems personalized to me right now that's going to work. And how my team works. My team is different. Every team is different and unique. I choose to think that mine's the most unique and special, but they are. We work differently. We think differently. Our trends are different than everybody else. So I have to do something that works specifically for our team. And I do not like a lot of forms. So for me, having a lot of forms is too much because I'm flipping here. And I'm like, where do I place this form? Do I place this one first? Do I place this one second? Do I place this with the calendar? It just didn't work for me. Right now, my planner has been a great resource to me because the part that has the day-to-day, and I'll show you guys, I'm able to write whatever I want to write. I let everything be together. So for instance, say this is a month. Oh, sorry, y'all. This is my month. I can put whatever I want to put boldly so I can see, but then I can personalize it for the week and say, hey, this is what I got going on. So that's what I like to use. And then I can show you where I've stuck, look, sticky notes everywhere. I can just stick them there and deal with whatever I have to deal with. But the whole point for me is to tell you to use what works for you, not what is cool and what's pretty and what's out, because that's not going to work for you. Many of us are trying to conform to what's out there, and we're missing it. Like for me, I was like, okay, this ain't working. This is my first, y'all gonna laugh. Literally, when they started it, these are my old, and I keep all of these because I go back and reference them for like recruits and stuff that I didn't recruit. So I had this planner. I loved it because I started goal tracking in it. Well, I decided I was going to add some systems in it. Guess what I did? I tore everything out of that planner, hole punched it, and because I was determined not to waste no money, number one, but I used this. And for a long time, that's what I did until I got to the point where I could use the Happy Planner. Because again, I started off trying to do that stuff, the binder system. I had the little mini binder system. I had the big binder system. I had the Happy Planner at first. It didn't work. I had the little one. First of all, I realized I need the big one. So I say start simple, start small, start with tracking your numbers first. If you don't do anything else, track your numbers first. Like that's something simple and easy. The form is already downloaded. Chloe has that form already on there. It's on our team page. It's on the workstation. Track your numbers first. If you don't do anything else, track your numbers first. Check your workstation daily and look at what's going on. with your team and with you. If you guys want more in depth, please reach out. I feel like it's all about perspective when it comes to your business, your systems, how you run your business. It's about perspective. How is this working for you? If it's not, don't be like, oh my God, I think we're forging our way to try to do something that doesn't work. Like you're a circle trying to fit in the square slot or something. Who cares? And see, me, I'm that type of person. I don't care. I'm going to tweak it to make it work for me. Chloe may give us a bomb idea and I'm like, ooh, this is cool, but I need to know this on mine. So guess what? I'm going to either white it out, because I'll do that in a minute on a form. I will white out a section, or like, I'm not doing this. This don't work for me. Let me white this out and make it my own. Don't be afraid to be genuine, authentic, and you. Okay? And that's all I have. Well, that's probably what I have for right now, until the Lord lay on my heart what I'm really going to say later on. All right, Michelle, it's your turn. Go ahead and blow them up.
I know. Oh my gosh. Okay, so literally, how do you follow that? All right, so let me see if I can clean my camera up a little bit there. All right, for those of you that don't know me, I am Michele Hall. I am the director of Scented Shells. Fun fact, I love Excel spreadsheets, so I hope you do too. Maybe comment over there in the comments. I don't know if I share my screen if I'll be able to see, but if you love Excel spreadsheets, then you're probably going to like the systems that I have come up with. I too have a happy planner. I do. I have Excel spreadsheets within my happy planners. So I kind of do, let me just kind of start off with kind of saying the way I do. I do use the workstation, but I extract out of the workstation into my Excel spreadsheets. I know a lot of y'all use the follow-up form that Chloe did, and here is a prime example of how that form, I love that form, and I love the follow-up form, and I wanted to implement the follow-up form, but Chloe's brain thinking about the follow-up form and my brain thinking about the follow-up form converted it to an Excel spreadsheet. So I know she has a lot of blocks on hers and everything, but I literally, this is all of my customers for April. So there are several sheets in here, and what I do is I took mine and put it on an Excel spreadsheet for a follow-up form. And this helps me because I send every one of my customers a little goodie packet every single month just to thank them for being my customer. I have these little cards that I created that I also put into my little box just to let them know. And I just kind of fill it with like some samples. I do the scent of the month. I do the warmer of the month flyer. I just put it all in there. This is a way for me not to have to sit there and go back and forth because I'm not going to show you her name, but like I have addresses up underneath there. I don't know if you can see it. I have their addresses up underneath there. So this is a quick way for me to pull it up, stamps.com, and just start typing their information in there, flip it over, flip it over, flip it over, and it's really easy to do. Everything I need is right here. This is just one of the systems that I use. I'm going to share my screen and show you in a minute, but I also put what type of order it was and how much PRV I received off of it, because I can keep up with that, you know, right beside their name to see what they ordered. If I sent them a thank you immediately or within 72 hours, if they are a VIP, if they've ordered from me, you know, in the past or whatever, and then if they were referred and who referred them to me, because I'm going to send them a little scent circle or something in the mail for them referring them to me that they were ordering. So, and then another thing that I have that I really like about this form is it says what's their favorite product that they ordered and their favorite scent. That helps me to build a relationship with them so that I know that I can like say, okay, so for this person, she ordered oils and Disney stuff. Okay, she loves the Disney stuff, and she ordered some oils and different things. So I'll know that's how I can market to her. I can tell her, oh, guess what? We're getting another Disney item coming up, you know, so that's an easy way for me to market. I know my next door neighbor over here loves satin sheets. So if I see something or a deal coming up, you know, with satin sheets or whatever, and then, you know, the body wash and stuff. But this just, it really has helped me a lot in my follow-up game. And I typically get anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 a month PRV just from follow-ups, literally just from follow-ups, and that's it. So once I do this month, this is April, so this is out of my book. I will keep this for follow-up, but this is my current one that I have inside of my Happy Planner. So I just print some more sheets off, and I just put, you know, how many ever sheets it's going to take. I just put them in there, and that way I have it in here where I can write on there. So I love Excel spreadsheets. So if you're ready for this, I guess hold on to your horses, because I'm probably getting ready to blow your mind, or you're going to be able to see what's in my mind. I know there are some people that actually already have this because they got a sneak peek of it somewhere and they've emailed me and asked me for it. So I know Tiffany and Anna and Nicole, and I don't even know who else I've sent it to, but anyhow. So let's see if I can share my screen. Oh, here's a disclaimer. The people on here are my team's names, but these are not their numbers. Okay, so these are false numbers, so I don't have to blur out anything on mine. This is not their numbers, because I've been in here playing around. I've built formulas in, so all I have to do is like go to my workstation, go down. I did give them a fair warning, if you don't want your name on this, you know, to let me know. Last week nobody let me know, so it is their name, but it's not their numbers. Okay, so we're killing it this month. I will just tell y'all, for those of y'all that don't know, we promoted a star director this month, and we've promoted 2 directors this month. So our team is like really killing it this month. So this is not their numbers, but yes, I'm very proud of them. So all right, so let's see, how do I share? All right, you might have to help me.
So click the 3 little dots, right? Hover over your name, Michele, and then click the 3 little dots.
3 little dots.
You should see it on your screen, and then share screen. Is that what it looked like on yours, Queenie? No, what did it look like?
Share. Okay, I see it.
You see
Green.
Green. And share.
Arrow.
Okay. All right. So we might as well start out with show me the money. Okay. And I can't see comments or anything, so y'all will have to help me out if there's questions or any of that stuff. I can't see any of that, so just holler at me, Chloe or Queenie or Felicia and Rob, somebody, I don't know. So if you're going to look at this, I have an ongoing spreadsheet. So this is just one that I tagged. I named this one the training spreadsheet. So ultimately, I guess this will be the one that's uploaded, because the information in it is false. So you just adapt it to your team if you like Excel. Okay, you totally have to be an Excel spreadsheet kind of geek. But if you're not, and this is something that appeals to you, it's very easily teachable. Okay, I do not mind teaching you how to do this. It's so easy. Once you get the document, it's very easy. But if you'll notice down at the bottom here, Chloe asked me to start with the pay sheet because the other ones might blow your mind first. So, so I do have, this is for the month, May group. So that's going to show, when I do show that, it's going to be my whole group. We have 137 in my group now. And then my front line, which is basically where you're going to get, figure out your paycheck. So this is my frontline report, but this also has a lot of more stuff on there. So when we get to that, I'll kind of go over that too. And then my other one that I have down here is my star director that just promoted. So I pulled her numbers out of mine because right now her numbers do not count as far as my numbers go. So I pulled her out of mine and made her own spreadsheet. So she'll probably want that whenever we hang up from this. But so I pulled her team out, and you know, they're over here. So let's just kind of start out and let me kind of explain Michele's brain so you can kind of understand. So this is my personal front line. So these are all of the people that I have sponsored. This is when they joined, and this is how many that I have so far. I have 28 whenever I made this. I have a little bit more now, so yay for recruits. I had 28 whenever I made this. The red for me, I'm visual. Okay, I like color and I'm visual. The red for me are the ones that I know they're not going to cancel, but they are on the will cancel list. And I know that because they have on our workstation, if you go and look on your workstation, you'll see a little check beside of it, and it'll let you know if they're going to cancel. So in a real world without COVID, I would already be messaging these people. I tag them on the very first day of the month, so I know who's going to be will cancel, and I can start working with them, you know, letting them know, especially now with the ones that are not active or that are trying to get active on my team. One thing that I've told them this month is like, hey, if you at least get active this month, guess what? You're going to be here for the fall catalog. That's 4 months. So you're going to be here for the month whenever the fall catalog comes. So even if you just do enough to get active this month, you know, and you don't do anything else, you're going to be there for the brand new catalog. So that just lets me know who's going to be canceling in, and I put them in the red over here so I can work with them one-on-one. Not that I don't work with everybody else, but you know, that's kind of how I can see those people. So then I have a column for who they are and then their rank. If you'll notice up at the top, my stuff is in blue. So once you become lead or above and you have a sponsor up underneath you, you're actually going to get an extra bonus from Cincy. And I don't know that a lot of people know this, because I found out on my team as we started growing and they started sponsoring people, they really didn't know this. They just think that they make 25% off of what they have after they get certified, but they don't know we also get an extra little bonus for your personal wholesale volume. If you're looking at your compensation plan, it all depends on what your rank is of what that's going to be. I'm a director, so I make 9% of what my PRV is just because that's my personal wholesale volume. So basically, my PRV, my sales that I'm making, I'm actually earning 34% instead of 25%. So that's a good way to look at it, because you're just, you know, you're making that little extra bit right there. So that's going to help you a little bit more. So that's a little extra bonus if you didn't know about that. So that's why that's included up there. It's not, these are like formulated down here, but this shows that this is going to be 25%. So I have built-in formulas, okay? So anytime I change, let's just go in here and say, Leanne, and I do this every morning, okay? This is part of my morning routine. For a lot of people, they might look at this and say, oh my God, I cannot do this. This is going to drive me crazy. But trust me, once you build it and once you have it and once you commit to it, then it's not that hard to go in there and update your numbers. It literally takes me 1 to 2 minutes every morning to put in my numbers, to know what my team is doing, to be able to look at it, because it's already there. So once you build it, you have to maintain it. Okay, once you start a system, that system is not going to function unless you're actually putting the work into the system. Okay, it's not like I'm going to press a magic button and it's going to work for me. Okay, you have to be consistent and you have to make it a part of your routine. So every morning, this is my routine. So I come in and let's just say I'm going down my row. So what I do for this particular one, which is the one that figures my paycheck, I do go into the workstation. I go to my downline report, and then I double click like Queenie did. I double click, but I double click on my levels. Okay, so this is going to pull up all of my level ones. You have to click and then double click because it's going to go backwards first. So it's going to pull up all of my level ones. So all of my level ones off of theirs, if you go down and you just plug in their PRV on this form, okay, on this form, if you just go down, and it's going to be in a row, so it's literally going to take you, you know, just a few minutes depending on how many frontline you have, and you just start plugging it in. So what I want you to watch now is the TWV column and the projected pay column, okay? So I'm getting ready to change Leanne's amount because I saw that she put in a party last night and it was a really good party. So we're going to change her amount to $987 PRV now, which my workstation is going to tell me that. So watch those two columns. When I do that, the TWV went up to 740, and my part of that as her leader is 5182. Okay, so it automatically changed there, it automatically changed there, and it also changed the bottom down here, which is what my paycheck is going to be. So every morning I can go in and I can figure out what my paycheck is going to be. Let's just say Caitlin did the same thing. And the percentages are in there based on what their title is. So there's 9%, 7%, 5%, and 3% is for Anna because she's a director along with me. So if you go in and you just change each one of them, let's just change this one right here. It's going to change those numbers too, and then it's going to adjust a little bit down there. So no matter what you put into this spreadsheet, their PRV, those numbers are going to change automatically, and then this is going to change. So it literally will take you 2 or 3 minutes a day to go in and figure out your paycheck and to keep up with what you're going to get. I don't know if there's any questions, but you know, once these are uploaded, the formulas are going to be in there. Okay, so you want to make sure that you don't really, and I'll click into one of these boxes. So if you see this box here that I'm clicked in, the formula automatically pops up here. Okay, so let's just say if I added a team member, because Rob asked this the other night. So let's just say I'm going to add a team member. So I have a new team member. Felicia Rhodes is joining my team. So I'm going to come down here to the bottom. I'm going to click across to 35. That's my next row down there. I'm going to highlight it all together. And then I'm going to come up to here, and I'm going to add a row because I have shortcut commands up here. So when I add a row, Felicia is going to be my 29th person. She joined today, which is 5/27/2020. I'm going to type her name in. She is going to be an essential consultant, and even though she started today, she is the bomb, so she already has a $750 party that she is entering. Go, Felicia. So if you look at that, you're going to see this next one populated, and it had that one in there. But since she is essential, I didn't have the percentage in there, so I'm going to add the 9%. So that's going to populate that, and then that automatically goes to figure out how much I've already made off of her. And so you can just see, you can keep on adding to those, and I'm a stickler for like stuff to match. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to make my lines in there because I like my lines. But you can see, you know, how that kind of matches and how everything, you know, you can add people in there. Are there any questions while I'm on this page, Chloe?
Not that I see. Do you guys have any questions? And I also want to say, so look, these forms, we're going to have them uploaded to make it the easiest way on our director page and on Anchored In, the group leadership page. So if your director does not share it, that is on them. They will have access to it, and your leaders will. So ask your leader first, and then ask your director, and I want them to send it to you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So moving on. I don't see any questions though.
Okay, so this is the paycheck. So okay, so this is my big one. If you notice, this is the one that I use the most. I really created the pay sheet because Chloe and Felicia had a brain overload on this whenever we got together last week. And so this just kind of has my information. My brain functions like this to keep up with this. So this is what I use every single day. So basically it's the same thing, but I also added in some columns. So I have, if they're paid at title, and I did this one like 2 weeks ago when Chloe asked us about it. So a lot of this is filled in on my real sheet, but you can't see that. So, but we have paid at title, whether or not they're on promotion watch. I like to keep up with that based off of my whole group thing over here, so I can just kind of know where their numbers are, if they're active for the month or not. If they are leaders, if they already have their 500 PRV in, because I want to know how they're, you know, if they're putting in their 500 PRV, because that's crucial, because you won't get paid a title if you don't have that 500 PRV in. And then as I grew this, this of course, because these people were I started in 2015. So if you look, these are actual dates. It took me almost 2 years to get my first recruit. So don't feel bad. Don't feel bad if you think you're moving slow. So those are actual join dates. So, but you know, I have those over there, and if they hit shooting star or not. And then down here close to the bottom, these are some that I just recruited earlier in the month. So these are their actual shooting star dates. So I know I can keep track of that and let them know, hey, you're getting close to your shooting star date. You know, where are we at? What do we need to do? And different things like that. You can keep up with it and know like a date at a glance. These next 4 columns are basically the pay sheet. So I don't need to go over those again. So that's basically the pay sheet. The next thing was your first things first. That's really important for your new people coming on. Did they do their first things first checklist? Did they not do their first things first checklist? Do you need to reach out to them so that they know for their sensational start track date, are they on track? This person right here, you know, is on track for June the 11th, but no, they have not completed their first things first checklist. And then this one right here, sensational starts level 1, 2, and 3. This is the way I keep up with it. These are all of my people that have actually hit sensational start levels. And what they hit, I don't know if you can see it, but I highlight it in red. So whenever they do hit it, the ones that do hit it, I highlight which level they actually hit. That helps me keep up with that. And then how many recruits they've had in the month. And I also put reinstates on there because for me, we had a lot of reinstates going on, and it was hard for me to keep up with because their Cincy reinstates them, but their day goes back to like whenever they were initially a consultant. So it's not, you know, unless you are looking at your numbers, which you should be, it's going to be kind of hard for you to figure out who on your team has got a reinstatement, because it's going to come up and say, well, you know, Chloe joined my team 2 months ago, but she actually joined Cincy a year and a half ago, you know, so, and it's going to have that date on there. So you're not going to know if they have a reinstatement unless you're actually looking at your numbers. That's why it's crucial to track your numbers, to look at your numbers, to know your team, to know what's going on. Along with this, I have this over here. So to promote in PRV lingo, instead of GWV lingo, a lot of my people will ask me, so what do I need to be to promote to star? Where do I need to go? So this is just PRV. If you want to promote to lead, if you want to promote to star, if you want to promote, there's all the levels right there, what your PRV needs to be as a group after you get your 500, just at a glance, just because I like to see that. I also have those calendars saved in my phone for daily targets. But I also put them here because every night before I go to bed, I take a snapshot of the performance tab on my workstation. So I know if my numbers have changed. I know if my team has grown. I know, you know, what's going on at night right before I go to bed. That's literally the last thing I do. So like this is the first thing I do when I get up. The last thing I do is I pull up my workstation. I pull up that performance tab. I snap a picture of it and I go to bed. That way I can check it in the morning just to make sure. That's how I keep up with my daily GWV. So this is my actual numbers this month of keeping up with my daily GWV. I track them every morning whenever I come in to fill up my stuff. And then these are the calendars that people are sending around, that you have the target calendars that you need. I have one for director, I have one for star director, and I have one for superstar director. Because I want to see, currently I'm a director, but I'm way past star director in my numbers for my group. And I'm knocking on the door of superstar director, and I'll get there. But this is just easy for me to see. This is an easy way for these never change. You know, those stay the same, those never change. But it's an easy way for me to track throughout the month. Like Queenie says, she can tell with her team. I can tell with my team too, but I like to show me the numbers. I'm a numbers kind of person, so show me the numbers. I like to see it every morning whenever I wake up, and I plug these numbers in so I can see where we are as far as on target for director or on target for star director. And then the last column over here is my group and my team growth. Since Anna promoted to director, her team separated from my team. So we have a group, and then we also have the teams, my personal team. Okay, so as a group, we're a little bit more than this now, but as a group, the last time I put it on here, we were 131 group. My team personally, without Anna's team, since she's a fellow director, was 66. Okay, so that's the way that I kind of keep up, because you need to, and this is really important, whenever Anna and I worked together and she was promoting to director and she was promoting to even star director this month. Hold on, let me get a drink. That was one thing that me, as the leader of Scented Shells, I mean, they're kind of like Chloe. We're all still under Anchored Scents. But me as the leader of Scented Shells, I wanted to make sure that my team was sustainable without Anna's team. Okay, because that is crucial. If you don't have your team at a sustainable level, then your people are going to start promoting and your people are going to start leaving you behind, and you're not going to be able to keep up with your people. So you want to make sure that you're working right along hard with everybody. And it's okay, all right? It's totally okay that people under your team that you're working with, if they promote, that's great. I'm so happy for Anna. I could not be more happy for Morgan. I could not be more happy for Kimberly. She's a star director now. They have had a killer past couple of months. She's worked hard with her team. I've worked hard with her team. But just to know that you have to know that if that happens to you, you're going to be okay with your team. You're still responsible for your team. You're still responsible for your front line and those people that you have on there. And you need to make sure that it's sustainable to keep you to where you need to be. Because in the long run, you're not going to promote to the next level if you don't have the team to take with you to the next level. You're nothing without your team. Nothing at all without your team. Okay? I'll say that to my dying day. I would be nothing without my team, and everybody on here would be nothing without their team. So if you don't have the people to go with you, then you're not going to go anywhere. So I'm right on Anna's heels. I'm coming. I'm one director away. Our group is at 47,000 right now. My team is at 14,000. So I'm at director numbers or above for my team without Anna's whole team that just broke off from my team. So that's important to know. That's important for you to look at these numbers and figure that out. Okay. If you're not looking at your numbers and you're not keeping up with that and you're not growing your team and you're not sponsoring, then your team's going to leave you. There's just no other, there's no other way to candy coat it. So if you're not sponsoring and you're not doing all the things, then your team is going to leave you. And my team ain't leaving me because I started it and they're not going to leave me. So, so this is basically my frontline report that I do every morning. Like I said, these numbers are the same as on the pay sheet. So I don't really do the pay sheet because I keep up with my numbers on this sheet right here. But for some people, this is a lot of information. This was like over. Soon as I showed it to Felicia the other night, she was like, nope, bye, peace out, I'm out of here. So, but if your brain works like this, then that's okay. If you need if we need like a Zoom tutorial on Excel, I don't mind doing that. Because this is me, this is my life. I've been doing it since I was 18 years old and I'm 50 years old. So, but the next, I'm going to hurry up. So the next one is, this one's a little bit easier on the eyes. So when I promoted to director back in September, this is like when I made this. And one of the main reasons why I made this is because my team started growing so much, I didn't know who they were. And when I didn't know who they were, I was feeling like I was not being the best person, the best leader that I was, because I know Chloe has 8,000 people on her team, and I know it's hard to understand that. But if you are just growing a team, I mean, even if you have like a team of, I mean, like I have a team of 137 now. When I hit director, I had a team of 50. Okay, so for me, having this tree, I called it my family tree because that's what I feel like my team is. They are my family. So when I first made this, I was talking to Nicole and Tiffany and Anna and Anna Watson, and I told her, I was like, okay, this is my family tree. I need to know who these people belong to, because I have people like joining my team page, and I'm like, okay, hey girl, hey, who are you? You know, I'm like, who do you belong to? You know, but this for me is what helped me understand my family tree and understand my team and understand who was promoting, how far you were from promoting, who was actually growing their teams, and all the things. I mean, just looking at this, it literally just makes me happy because I love color. So let me kind of explain all the different colors to you. Purple is my front line. So I have all of my frontline people on here again. And it just, you know, this lets you know that these are the people that I have personally recruited for my business. After that is my second level. So this is your workstation on Excel in color. Okay, so it's the same thing you're going to see there. This second level, third level, fourth level, fifth level, and it doesn't matter how deep you go down, you're going to have those numbers. If you sort by level, you're going to see all those numbers. So this lets me know, let's just say Tammy. So Tammy is my front line. I sponsored her. Tammy has two people up underneath her, Stephanie and Wanda. That's kind of like her family tree. Okay. So Caitlin, let's go down here to Caitlin. So Caitlin she's my sponsor. I sponsored her. Caitlin has sponsored all the people in green. So she has 5 people up under her that she has personally sponsored. Out of those 5 people, April has sponsored 5 more people. Okay, so they're all up underneath Katie's family tree right here, but April has branched off and sponsored her 5 people right here. And then even out of April's tree, Miranda has sponsored 1 person out of her tree. So the way this helps me is I can see basically all of these people are on Katie's team. So Katie is super close to promote, not on these numbers. These numbers are not real, okay? But in my mind, from knowing my numbers, Katie is super close to promoting to superstar consultant. Okay, so an easy way to see that is who's working on her team. Does Caitlin have her 500? Because this is PRV and TWV, okay? Does Caitlin have her 500 PRV? Is she going to know that her team is down here kicking butt, literally kicking butt, and she only has, 200 PRV in here? Her team's going to get paid. Her team's doing all the work, but she's not doing the work to get paid at title. Okay, so that's letting me know that, somebody down here, and, look at this April Lowry chick. Where'd she come from? She's sitting over here with almost 2,000 PRV. As her director, I'm going to send her a little note and say, girl, I see you. I might not have sponsored her, but ultimately this is my family. Everybody on this team is my family. I'm ultimately up at the top, and I'm responsible for every single one of them. So at a glance, you can go down here and you can look and see where everybody is doing, on their team. If they are sponsoring, if they aren't sponsoring. One thing that was really crucial was they are sponsoring, and remember, these are not real numbers. They are sponsoring, like Nicole sponsored 3 people, but her 3 people don't have any PRV. So that's letting me know I need to reach out to Nicole's sponsor and say, hey, Nicole is sponsoring. I'm so proud of her, but, maybe we need to talk about training her team or training her team up, and see what the holdup is, because there's no PRV coming in to her team, and she's got a team of 4 right now, and she's the only one that's getting PRV in there. So that's just going to kind of let you know at a glance that these are the people that, you need to kind of work with. This is part of my morning ritual, because I do update this one, because this is my group, this is my family. I pull up my workstation, and the way this is laid out, this is just exactly how the workstation is. So you can go down, bam, 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 update all of these numbers right here, and it's going to sort your thing to 250. If you have to do it 75 times like Chloe does, that's okay. But, you know, how many ever you have, I sort mine by 250 because I have 137 now. And all of my numbers, I just kind of like go down and just like plug them in. And that way I can see, I know the workstation is white, but like I said, I'm visual. I like color. I like to be able to see, you know, who's working with their team, or who's, you know, all of these people right here on Morgan's team, and, you know, they're putting out all the big things, you know. So, I mean, it's an easy way for you to look and see how people are working their business and how their people are working their business, instead of just, you know, saying, I'm only going to deal with these few people right here, because ultimately it's a whole family, and you have to know at some point who's working in your business and who you want to work with. This is easy for me to pull up and say, you know, well, okay, I see that, you know, Caitlin's trying to promote and everything else. She's got a team that's really on it. So it would be easy for me to reach out to her and say, Caitlin, I see your team's working too. You know, let's see what we can do to get you to the next level. Where's your PRV at? Where, you know, what do you have in parties? What do you have, you know, coming? You got your recruits there and everything. So that's an easy way to see what they are doing. You know, the same thing would be like somebody that's a little bit down, like a third or a fourth person like that, you know, like Courtney. Courtney has sponsored 3 people along with her, so she's got a team of 4 people, but every single person on her team is working, you know. And Courtney's put in, you know, $2,600 worth of PRV. So, you know, it's an easy way for you to pick out your leaders and to see who's working on their team or who needs help. Okay, it's not just a thing to me saying like, oh, you're working, oh, you're not working, well, I'm not going to work with you, you're not working. Maybe they need help, you know. Maybe the person that doesn't have, that's sponsoring all the people, but they don't have, their people aren't putting any PRV in. Maybe you need to reach out to them as their leader and say, hey, you know, maybe me and you can get on a team Zoom together, and we can get with your team and, you know, see what's going on, see where they need help, see what, you know, what questions they have or whatever, and, you know, just kind of go from there. But the easiest way to see it for me is to put it in the spreadsheet and to kind of like go through my numbers. I do this every single day. And I mean, that's just the way my brain thinks. That's just the way it's easier for me to see the numbers. And I also put on here their recruits, because I want to know how, you know, how, I know it's on that other page, but I want to know in that month, let's just say, you know, Nicole, she has these 3 people that are up under her that aren't putting any PRV in, but you know what? They weren't sponsored this month. They were at least sponsored last month or the month before last. So why isn't anybody on her team working? Has she stopped working? She's got 971 PRV, but her team has nothing. You know, so that lets you know you need to reach out to that person. Or you have, you know, all of these other people on, you know, on these other teams that actually have, you know, a little bit of PRV in, but they're right there at it. You know, you have 156 PRV in right here. You know, send them that little boost of a text and say, hey, I see you. I just wanted to reach out and say, I'm really proud of you, and I know you can do this. Is there anything I can help you with? You know, because you never know. They might be struggling. They might be like, well, I've done everything I know I can do, and, you know, I'm just done this month. You know, you can't be like that. You can't give up on your people. You started this team. You are the founder of your teams, and you can't give up on your teams. You chose to be a leader, so you need to lead. And this is the way that my brain sees leading. And I'm done. Unless there's questions. There are other questions. I can't see the comments.
So good. Now, I don't see any questions right now.
Okay.
And guys, so yeah, the forms, anything that they have tonight that they can share, they'll share with you guys. Okay. They'll put it on the leadership page and the director's page. So that way your leader or your director, they both have access to it. But that is the best.
I hope I didn't blow your minds.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Queenie, real quick, yeah.
Michele, there was a question for you. Where are they going to be able to find this? I told them we were going to upload it. Is that how you're going to disperse the chart?
Yeah, Chloe's going to put it in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'll be uploaded. All right, guys. So we're going to roll on to little Felicia. We're going to spotlight her. This is her and her husband, Rob, and she is going to talk about their business.
I don't know if everyone's ready for what I got to say, though.
They're not ready, but they need to be ready.
Oh my gosh, hold on. Okay. Hi, everybody. So I'm Felicia Rhodes. This is Robert Rhodes. We are both star directors. He is on my account as a consultant, so we do this together. And honestly, like, y'all, about everything that they said was gold. It was amazing, but literally it made me want to skip school because that's just not, my brain just does not work like that. And that's okay because his brain does. And we are almost like two people. When you put us together, we just work. He loves spreadsheets. He loves all that kind of stuff. Felicia doesn't. I call myself my team's cheerleader. Like, that's literally what I do is I coach and I lead and I explain and I pump him up, and he's the numbers guy. He will literally pull up Workstation and run all the reports because I talk really fast. But mainly what we use, other than my online system through my iPad, is Workstation, because literally Workstation has everything you need. We live in a camper on a farm, and I can't have paper everywhere because I only have so much square footage, and little tiny trees don't belong in my camper. So I just don't do any, like, I can't stand clutter. Tiny trees, that's what I call them. I just don't like clutter. And sticky notes would drive me crazy, mainly because my kids would get them and then it would be a waste of money. But here, I want to start this off first, okay? I implemented everything anybody was willing to teach me. I did not get to star director on accident. I put in the work, and I made sure that I listened to every training, that I attended anything and everything that anyone was willing to teach me. And I also am very, I think it's a good trait. He sometimes doesn't, but I understand myself better than most people understand themselves. I know what's going to work for me instantly. I know what's not going to work for me instantly. And I can tell you right now, when I was watching Chastity's training on her happy planners and the 90,000 forms, my brain said, I love it for you. Felicia has to leave. I can't do it. Mainly just because I wouldn't know where to start and I wouldn't know where to end. That's a lot of forms for me personally. Again, though, you put us together and something like that probably would work because he could handle the forms part. But when Workstation pretty much does everything for you, you just need to understand what to look for. As a director, star director, leaders in general, right? Workstation has the tools for us to be able to track our team. And no matter the size of your team, whether you are trying to get certified because you are a team of one and you need to take care of yourself, or you're trying to become a lead consultant, star consultant, superstar consultant, and whatever. You have team tabs, you have performance tabs, you have something that I personally do, and I didn't even realize it was like an actual system, was the double clicking. Right? So I love, first of all, to look at my front line. My front line are the most important because I want to not only lead from the front, but I want to coach from the front. I do not want to be the shining star. I want to be the cheerleader. I want my leaders to understand how to lead. Okay? So if you're running reports in your workstation, let me take that back. If you or your spouse are running reports in your workstation, which that's what he does, do you want to just tell them what you do for me?
Look, building leaders is what builds wealth in this business. And Chloe and Justin have preached that for a while now. And that's where the double click really comes into play, because when you're running reports, you can run reports all day, and there's generic reports already built into Workstation. But you can go in and save reports, and there's been trainings done on that before, and we can find a way to make that a simpler process and show you through Workstation how to develop and build a report, because the Sensi training really doesn't, or from the website or your workstation really doesn't, I don't think it's set up to show you that yet. So we'll figure out a way to do that in the future. But when you're running reports, you really got to know what to look for. And ideally, you got to look at the people that are working. Because if they're not working, then I'm not going to say that there's no point to not work with them. But if they're working, then they're leading and they're working, and they're people that you want to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be that they've got active frontline, whether they've got new recruits, high PRV or high TWV. The GWV, that doesn't matter.
GWV, that's a fancy number, and everybody has a big fancy number. And hold on, because now I got to ramp it. I need to go. Okay, so here is just one quick example, right? So as a STAR director, I have 3 directors under me. I am going to have 4 under me, and I'm going to become a superstar director, and I'm already focused on my 1st and 2nd gen and 3rd gen directors, because that is where you're going to promote. You have to understand the people under you are your family, and they are going to help you get to where you want to go. It's okay to have big, scary goals. The most important thing is you have to have a way to get yourself to that goal, and you have to understand the numbers. So again, last month, all of my directors hit paid at title. Do you know what I was doing by the 5th of the month? Calculating my TWV from my GWV. Because I can cheer on my directors, and I can tell them, you guys are going to get director. They know how to get director. They know how to get paid at title. I had to make sure that I was still doing my job and leading my team and having a TWV sustainable to keep me paid at title. And I'm going to tell you right now, okay, we're almost 16,000 TWV because I stayed focused on the rest of my leaders, my certified consultants, coaching them to certified, or coaching them to get certified.
But that's with 3 active paid at title directors. In our group, the fake number is over 50,000 now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first month our team has ever sold over 50.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing that this is the worst time in the world for everything happening, but everybody is doing so well in this group because building leaders and having positive energy, it shows that when you're active and you're positive and you're actually working, that it works.
But
and that's what's so amazing about this group right now is over 2 million in sales is crazy.
Here's one example, and I was going to show a bunch of stuff on my screen, but I'm really just a talker. I wanted to kind of explain to you guys what I mean by focusing on TWV and what I mean by focusing on building leaders within your TWV. And I'm saying TWV, like if you're even aiming for director, let's just say you're a superstar consultant, okay? If you're aiming for director, which I pray you are, and you're consistently getting paid at title as superstar consultant, if you were under my team, I would be coaching you that you were literally only 4 certified consultants away. And I always round up because I want to make sure you like nail that GWV in. You're only 4 certified consultants away from director. Group wide. Anyone in your group at Superstar Consultant, you guys realize you're only 4 recruits away to get them certified, because let's just face it, shooting star, that's amazing. Everyone should be aiming for that. But if you're in my group, if you're in my team, if you're my frontline, I get you to certify the first month because 1, you're getting a pay raise. But 2, you always want to round up. You want that new recruit to get the most out of their business and give the most out of their business. Certified is a must no matter what when they're first joining. So if you're like, I had someone who promoted to lead, I think it was like the 5th of the month, okay? And she was so proud of herself. And I was like, okay, well, we're going to get star at the end of this month, because if you're already at lead, we're not stopping. We're going to give a pat on the back. We're going to say hooray, but we're not done. We're still working. And she didn't understand how she was going to get to star. You know what I said? 1 more certified consultant, please recruit, and let's coach. Guess who got star consultant? She did. We can't stop. We can't have little goals and be scared and tell ourselves that we can't do it. Because the beauty of Scentsy is no matter what, you can't do it alone. You have to do it with people. You have to do it with the tribe. You have to do it with the group. You have to do it with people who want the same things. Okay? We all join for many, many different reasons, but we all succeed because we all want the same thing. We want to grow. We want to provide, right? So I had a chart to explain that. I really hope my brain makes sense when I'm talking about that, as far as a superstar consultant being only 4 certified consultants away group wide to getting director. Director's not scary and it's not hard to get. It means that you have to keep growing your team, growing your frontline, and teaching your frontline to grow too. Now, as far as systems, because I feel like I kind of went on a rampage.
Well, to further explain what she's saying, for the people that aren't following the numbers, in 1 month, if you have 4 recruits as a team, so let's say you already have a team of 10.
And you're paid at title
those
consistently.
Of those 10 people, your team recruits 4. That's not hard math there. Of the 10 people, 4 people coach and get 4 people to certify that month. That's an additional 4,000
average.
About or to get your TWV or your GWV where it needs to be so that you can promote to director. And, honestly, there's no reason to be the star consultant at 25 when you could be the superstar consultant at 6 with only 3 or another 4 as a team recruits. Now, that's not saying recruit 4 every single month and be scary and big, crazy things.
But team-wide, that's not bad.
But as a team, if you have 1 recruit and then that 1 recruit recruits 1 and the next month they recruit 1, you've just gone from you to like 6 people in 3 months. And so you jump to lead, you jump to star, then you do a little bit of extra work, you get to superstar, and there's no reason to wait at superstar. I mean, it's a hard thing to get to director, but it doesn't have to be when
you break it down.
When you really break it down and you work for it, because director, it's a manageable title. And the things that you get at director and the things that you see with your team, the leadership opportunities that you have as a director, that's where the wealth is built, is as a director and by finding other directors in your team.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So back to systems. Okay. I do basically everything on a iPad. I'm trying to pull it up just so that maybe you guys can see it. So I use my iPad and it's just a digital planner. Okay. I can go in, I can erase, I can add, I can see, I can do everything. Now, what I love the most about this is I pick the files that I want on here and I just have them quickly on, like I have my dream team. Okay. I have my annual mentor. I have my notes. I have my tracker to superstar director because I'm going to get it. And another thing too, guys, you guys already know, like I don't like paper. I don't like that, but I do like having notebooks. Right here is when I coach anybody, I have a notebook designated to them. Okay. And I have the tracker in there and then I can take notes. Everything I do is on an iPad, so I don't have paper. I can access it through my phone. It's from the Good Apps Note, and really like how we work is he checks the workstation, and this is a give or take, right? You have to know your team. You have to know your numbers. You have to know what your team does. But for us, we like to check on the 5s. So we check on the 5th, we check on the 10th, we check on the 15th, and it's the 5s, right? So now the end of the month, we check a lot because we're making sure people are not missing promotions, not missing paid at title, not missing things like that. Now for me, he will text me a list of people and what they're almost at, what they've achieved, what they need to work on. And I'm the cheerleader, right? He does the numbers, I do the cheering, and I do the coaching. I will immediately send them a voice text because Chloe's gotten us all addicted to voice text. I don't know why that wasn't a thing. Like, I just don't have time to type. But dude, I pay for that app. I think it was $5.99 for the app. I'm sorry. And I will voice text, and it doesn't matter whether they're my frontline, someone under them in my team. I will cheer for them. If I get an email that someone's recruiting, immediately I send them a voice text, and I just say, congratulations on building your team. What's your goals with the people that you're sponsoring? I'm huge on voice text. I'm huge on talking to the people who are building our wealth in our team and in our group, because they're the ones that matter. There's a bunch of people who are, what do you call it? Hobbyists, and that's okay. They can be hobbyists. Like, there's a role for all of us in this. And if they're going to fill my TWV every couple months, then they're going to fill my TWV every couple months. But the ones who are actually investing in their business, they're going to hear from me. They're going to know my name, and they're going to know that I'm cheering for them. And then their sponsor's going to hear from me, and I'm going to tell them exactly what I think they need to do and what they need to focus on. And if they have any questions or want any type of coaching because they have rock stars under them, it's important to know and to invest your time in the people who are investing in your business and investing in their own business. So as far as systems, guys, I tried Chastity's. I even did the whiteboard system. I had it hanging in our bedroom, and every time I woke up in the middle of the night, I would brush up against it, and every morning all of my information would be gone, so that didn't work. The thing that I want you guys to understand, you have to know yourself. You have to love yourself. I know every weakness that I possibly have, and I think that's a strength, because I don't let my weaknesses win. I don't let them defeat me. I don't let them dictate who I am, right? I pick myself up. I learn from my mistakes. I learn from what works for me and what doesn't work for me. And honestly, if you can make a list of things that don't work for you, do you know how much closer you are to finding the one thing that will? You have to do the process of elimination. You have to know that everything you should want to try. Everything. When I was first promoted to director, okay, we weren't paid a title for a while. We went into the director queue, okay? Do you know who was the squeaky wheel on that director's page? Felicia Rhodes. Do you know who everybody was going to know needed to learn how to be paid a title for director? Felicia Rhodes. I didn't sit back and let director Q make me feel less than what I am, right? I didn't let not being paid a title tell me that I wasn't good enough. That's not the truth. That's the devil, first of all. What the truth is that I looked up to people like Chloe and Queenie and Faith and Chastity and all these people promoting and getting paid a title and getting director consistency. And guess what? Felicia was in their inbox saying, so, tell me what you're doing. And I swear, I built relationships, and I call myself forever the squeaky wheel. That is what I am, because I'm not going to sit back and let speed bumps be stop signs. That's not how we work. That's not how life is, okay? We're all going to come across speed bumps. We're all going to, I promise you. But do not let your speed bump become a stop sign. You can't let that happen. You have to be willing to adapt no matter what. Try the Happy Planner. It's amazing. If that's you, try the Excel sheets. If that doesn't make you want to skip school. Is it called an Excel sheet?
Look, we bought Happy Planners. We bought a whiteboard. We bought notebooks. We bought binders. We bought extra paper to put in extra binders.
I tell you what, the Happy Planner really stopped for me when I saw the price of the hole puncher. I was like, I don't think this is going to work for me. I think we're going to have to move on.
Everything she wanted to put in it had to be printed. Everything.
Yes, it was horrible, guys. And then like Queenie, I got the small one because I was like, I need tiny things. And then everyone's like, well, the forms are all for the big ones. So I was like, okay, I don't think this is for me.
The bottom line is to find a system that works for you and something that can be consistent and that works for a team of 20, also works for a team of 200 and 2,000. I mean,
Here, real quick, here's probably where 90% of us fail. And I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna drop some names, and mainly because they know I love them. Okay, I see a lot of people try and implement exactly what Chloe does, like literally screen share, possibly. I'm calling you out. Her stories just to put identical things in what she's mailing out to people. Do you know how long she's been a consultant? We don't have to do that. We have to let Chloe be Chloe. And we have to say, well, that's a good idea, but how can I make that authentic? Okay? We can see Chastity have this amazing happy planner and everything organized, and like her brain is literally amazing. And I just want to ball myself up and cry because it just won't work for me. But how many people are stuck on that system because it works for Chastity, SSD Chastity, who's amazing, but it doesn't work for you? And you're telling yourself you're a failure because you're trying to continue a system that will only make you have a stop sign. Let it be a speed bump. Get over it. Find something else. There's a million systems out there. And I'll tell you what, not one of them had a happy planner and an iPad. But guess what I did? I took little pieces from everyone I watched, and I said, this works. This doesn't work. Now, all the things that work, how can I still adapt to me? Felicia Rhodes, little camp and live and farm girl. And I had to find a way to make it work. Do not think that you are failing because something that someone else is doing successful isn't working for you. You're not a failure. You just have to keep finding new ways. So I feel like I may have rambled too much. Chloe, you can stop me now.
No, it was so good. I mean, I could listen to y'all all night. Do y'all have any questions for Felicia? I know that she didn't necessarily show her system. Maybe eventually it's not priority for her to record a video right now because her priority is closing the Much Strong. But if her and Rob can some way screen record down the road, they'll do that for you guys. But again, we don't want you seeing Felicia's all these systems. Like, to me, when I looked at her stuff, I was like, I don't even know how to make that stuff. Like, so, yeah, that's it. What were you saying, Felicia? Unmute yourself. Here, I'm going to unmute all of y'all, actually.
Am I unmuted?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's really, like, why I didn't want to, like, necessarily, like, dig into it. Because I know, just from past experiences, I don't want anyone to, like, hyper-focus on, okay, well, what did you put on this page and what did you put on this page, right? Because that is literally my brain, and my brain doesn't make sense.
Well, like for me, I'm over here when Queenie had her workstation pulled up, I took a picture of her reports, the reports that she runs. That's on the left side that she's got titled. I want to know what reports she's running, so that when I go to build my next reports, that I can easily just click, and instead of double click and reorganize and change filters and all that stuff. When you're building the report that makes running reports so time consuming, you just open workstation, click run reports, click either frontline or downline, and then click those saved reports that you have in there. It's an easy thing to do, and it's really time. It saves a lot of time to have a report saved, especially the way like some leaders have the parameters set. To make sure that when you're checking for lead consultants or star consultants, that you got to know and understand 100% the compensation plan first and foremost. You have to understand the compensation plan, not just when you're building reports, but to be a leader in the business. You have to understand the compensation plan, and if you don't, just open up another window and have it available to look at every single day. Or every time you're running reports, so that when you see that somebody is, it's the 28th, they have 500 PRV in, but their TWV is 24. Like, come on, let's get to that 25 and get the star. Push, work for it. But understanding that and doing good, authentic leadership in those voice texts that she's so good at, but I would be terrible at, it works because it works for her.
I will also say this, and this may be like off a little bit, but I want you guys, because I know that it's not just directors and above. I know that there's people on here who maybe just promoted to lead, maybe just promoted to certified, and they want to become lead. Do you know, when I hit lead, I walked around and I was just like, I'm a lead consultant. I just want you to want you to know that.
Independent anymore.
I was a lead consultant. Have the confidence in the title you earned, okay? But also take the responsibility that comes with that title and teach yourself. There's too many trainings out there like this one, like Guide to Growth, like the Aim Tomorrow. If you guys are lead, be on it. But seriously, guys, like
I got to say something about Felicia.
Oh no.
I met Felicia before Punta Cana. Okay. So we met because Chloe was having a party at her house, incentive party. And when she lived in her other house in Greenville, and Felicia and I met, and we were going to ride together because we lived pretty close to each other. We were going to ride together. And I think at the time were we both certified? I think we were just starting. Like, I know I was certified, so you might have been lead or whatever. But so we rode together, and I will never forget standing at that couch in the back of the couch. We were just standing there, like, watching all the people do all the things and earn all of these incentives. And Felicia looked at me and she said, "Oh, I'm doing this. I am going to Punta Cana. I am earning this. I am going to promote, and I'm going to do the things that I need to do." And she claimed it right then and there at the couch, standing right there. And she earned that trip, and she earned a baby with that trip, from what I understand.
Yep, she sure did. She sure did.
She claimed it. I mean, you can't sit there and think to yourself that you're in this business and you're not going to be able to do anything. You can do exactly what you put your mind to. You are the one that is stopping you from achieving any of your goals. As long as you sit there, I could have said for the longest time, I started in 2015 and I didn't hit director until 2019. Okay. I could have said that a long time ago. And y'all saw my join things. It took me almost 2 years to get one person to join my team. But did I stop? No, I have 28 frontline now that I sponsored myself. And I've had more, but they've come and they've gone. So, I mean, I don't even know how many I've sponsored altogether. But, I mean, people come and people go, but it always equals up to what you do in your business. The more you want it, the more you're going to do it. I have a goal. I will retire by the time I'm 55 years old. Maybe sooner than that. If they keep on messing with me, I'm a queen.
Yes. We out.
We are out. But I mean, I have a goal. I mean, I don't want to sit and work for somebody else till I'm 67 years old and then be able to draw that security check that they're going to send me for $1,300. I don't want to do that. You know, I want to enjoy my life. I want to enjoy my husband. I want to enjoy my grandchildren. I'm 50 years old. I don't mind telling anybody that whatsoever. And for me, sometimes I get in my feels because my best people are, you know, like Anna Watson and Tiffany, and they're like my children, like they're the same age as my children is basically. So, but when I'm doing all of this and when I'm talking to them and everything, I don't really see it like that. I see it as they're my family, they're my people, they're my tribe, they're what drives me. They don't see my age. Chloe didn't see my age when we were in Hawaii. They might have saw my age when I about died twice when my blood pressure went up. But I mean, they were there for me when we were in Hawaii. If y'all don't even know what that story is, you need to go look for that story because I mean, was I scared? Yes, I was scared. Would I do it again? Yes, I would do it again. But that's only because they were there with me. Okay. And a lot of times, and Tiffany and Anna can account to this, I'll tell them, it's like, you know, maybe nobody wants to party with me because I'm 50 years old and our generation just doesn't party. Okay. Okay. Well, you know what? For those of you that don't know this past week, I have figured out a different way to party. I'm doing bingo games now. I am like so excited about this. I already have 5 of them set up to play Friday night. And if they all sell out, which I'm hoping they will, that's $550 worth of PRV in one night. Okay, so get out of your head. If you think people aren't going to party with you, if you think you can't do this or you think you can't do that, find a different way. If a system doesn't work for you, find a different system. If my system doesn't work for you, or Queenie's system doesn't work for you, or maybe a little bit of my system works for you, and a little bit of Queenie's system works for you, and a little bit of Felicia's, and a little bit of Chloe's, put your puzzle together and make it work for you. Okay? There's something out there that's going to work for you. Anna just posted on here. She's had a little bit of Chloe. She's had a little bit of Chastity. She's had my spreadsheets. She's had some other people's stuff. But you know what? She finally said Anna did what Anna needed to do to get her systems to work for her. You're not going to find the perfect system and say, oh, look, life is all good right now, because it's not going to happen like that. I can't tell you how many times I've ripped papers out of this happy paper and ripped papers out and put papers back in, dug them out of the trash, and just, you know, like, well, maybe that was working, you know, or maybe a piece of that was working. You know, it's like Chloe's follow-up form. That clicked in my brain because it's something that I needed to do, but I adapted it to work for me. So unless you're adapting your business, unless you're constantly growing your business, you're never going to get anywhere in this sense, and you're never going to get anywhere in life. So don't let the things that people try to hold you back for, me for my age or whatever, nothing's going to stop me from doing that. Nothing's going to stop me from retiring by the time I'm 55 years old. I got 4.5 years to go, and I got a plan, and it ain't going to stop me. So, sorry.
I wanted to add something really fast, kind of just a little testimony as to what happens when you finally find a system that works. Okay, so my life is always, when people say busy or crazy or whatever, like I literally just don't understand, because we have over 100 animals. I have 3 daughters. We live in a camper. We have a farm. My husband's law enforcement, who, like, it's just rare that he's ever home. I get busy, right? And I'm a huge testimony as to what it means when you finally have a system that works, because I have, for the life of me, always been about 1,000 PRV, right? So I'll go between maybe 600, 900, 1,000, just depending on life in general, okay? But it was mostly because I didn't have an authentic, consistent system for my business. And this month, I have put together a system that truly works for me. And I'm going to tell you, I have 3,000 PRV. That's not because I stopped being busy. That's not because I stopped being busy. It was because I finally had a system that worked for me. Worked for me. That means that if you are struggling in the PRV like I was, okay, guys, that doesn't mean we have to stay there. It's a speed bump. Don't let it be a stop sign, okay? Find a system, and if it doesn't work, trash it. Find another system. Invest a little bit of money, okay? And figure out what's gonna be good for you. And just remember, you don't have to feel like you're a failure, okay? Your time's gonna come.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna fall into place as long as you don't give up. The only person that fails in this business are the people who just throw in the towel and say, I'm done. Because every month we get to start at what? Zero. Everybody starts at 0. I didn't start at 50,000 GWV. I didn't start at 16,000 TWV. And I did not start at 3,000 PRV. We all start at 0. The difference is the people who you are watching be successful in this business are the ones who aren't giving up and are adapting and finding what works for them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and to go off what Felicia said, like, guys, I want y'all to realize something. I just created a follow-up system last month for me. I've been in this 8 years. I also just created a dream team system for me. So please, when they say, you know how hard that was for me to be like, you know how embarrassing that was for me to have to,
Not
like,
working.
but seriously, like, I was like, I can't believe I've never had my own vault system. I tried Maven. I hated Maven. I tried to do a binder system. I hated that. I tried the 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, whatever. I literally was like, this doesn't work for me. And guys, since I created that follow-up system last month, I'm almost at 20,000 in sales in 2 months. And it has everything to do with I'm in my groove. Like, I'm in my lane. I'm in my zone. And so I love what all three of them said. And please, this is the time, y'all, over the next 10 minutes to ask them questions and to pick their brain, because what they're saying is so authentically true.
Can I say something, Chloe?
Hey, y'all don't got to ask. This is your training. I'm the guest.
What I want to say is, how do you know a system is not working? And this is how you know. If it's sitting around, you're not using it, it's not working. If you notice that it's hard for you to remember to do it, it's not working. I printed off, and I have some amazing people that I'm close with that make bomb.com forms. Like, one of my closest friends, she just promoted SSD, Fifi, she creates these beautiful forms. I had printed out all these forms. Guess what? I didn't use them all. So guess where they went? In the trash can, because it was a waste of time, a waste of paper. One thing that Fifi, I want to piggyback on Fifi. I think once you find what, for instance, everybody has a tough time. My tough time, this was recently, like, I didn't have any time to work Cincy at all. None. Like, even if I wanted to, I thought, oh, I'm gonna be home. We're gonna be teaching. I'm gonna have this and that. Because normally at work, I have the flexibility to kind of interweave. I have pockets of time where I can do things. It's real flexible for me. And if I'm at home, like during the summer, it's all about Cincy. So I just thought automatically that's what I was going to be able to do. I was in a funk, like a bad funk. I was down, I was stressed out. But when you want something so bad, you figure out a way to get yourself out of that hole. You don't sit there and wallow in it. I went to that training, Guide to Growth, and I promise you, I was sitting there in that first training. I told Clay, I was like, the first training, I was like, what in the world? Like, I know all this stuff, but I fought through it. Because the second training is what really got me like, you have to find something to pour inside of you. So if it's doing research on these systems, following people, Fifi reached out to me, Felicia reached out to me beginning of this month, was like, listen, I'm trying to be like you. I'm like, girl, but I'm trying to be like you. She was like, I have not ever had 2,000 PRV. I was like, what? I never knew that. And so I told her, I said, listen, this is what I'm doing. I'm breaking it down into small goals every week. It sounds so simple, but sometimes you just need somebody to tell you something that's just right there in your face. You need somebody to give you another perspective. And it worked. And she was like, look, it worked. So I think you have to, if you want it bad, you're going to look for different things. You're going to be reading. There's trainings on our workstation that are the bomb. They're short. They're 5 minutes. And everything, like what we have with Chloe, everybody does not have that. Like, when I say, people always say, you're so lucky, man. Y'all have trainings. Y'all have this and that. And we're just kind of used to it because that's the culture of our team. And I know so many people that are willing to provide help and encourage you and push you. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. I mean, I could easily be discouraged, but guess what? I'm not, because this is me and Justin and Rob we're kind of on the same path when it comes to how we think. Yeah, we're already on the same path, but it's a ministry to me. So it's different. It's not about climbing up to the top real quick. It's about bringing women alongside with me, ministering to them, showing them what this business can do to them, and really giving them the empowerment that they never probably thought they could have before. Heck, I didn't know I had this. You could have told me that I would have I had a real, like a check, I call it a check last month. Like, some of my teachers make this amount of money in a month, and I made it just by pushing something that I love and truly believe in. So it's not all about the money for me. It is, and it's not. And I need people to wrap your mind around, why are you doing this? I mean, wrap it around that, formulate your plan of attack, get your systems into place. If you have something that's not working, scrap it, start researching and looking at what everybody's doing. Who do you think like? Me and Michele think a lot alike. I love numbers. I crunch them all the time. If a girl is, matter of fact, Lauren is good. Lauren Wright, she's good. Like, hey, how can you break this down? Tell me how much PRV, because I can take GWV and break it down to how many dollars you need by hand, because that's the type of numbers person I am. But have somebody you can reach out to who can teach you these things and kind of coach you to what you need for your business. Don't get caught up on what everybody else is doing. Meaning, if everybody around you is promoting, okay, do what you got to do to get where you need to be for your business. Help your girls. Focus on that. I promise you, because that will kill you and your business. Me and Felicia know that. We know that. What we call it, comparison is the thief of joy. That's what you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the things that I think that will take you in the right direction. We have so many people that are helpful. We have 20 pages that you can go to get information on, literally, like files, documents, pictures, ideas. Chloe posts a lot of stickers and flyers. I always try to make it my own. My team is the queens and kings of sense. Everything is labeled after that. I'm cheetah print, leopard print. Our coaching calls, I just changed that to take the crown calls. Like, it's everything. We have the royal court is our leadership page. Like, everything is me. I want them to see me, not Quenna trying to be Chloe, Quenna trying to be a farm girl, which I'm not. I want them to take ownership of our team. That's what you need to build with your people and just go from there.
That's kind of like my coaching form. My coaching form is Michelle's intentional talk form.
Talk show staff.
It's just, I intentionally talk to them, and I did take something that Chloe had. My coaching form, the way I do my coaching is the top 3. I look at you, and with it's in my happy planner too, but it's just 1-page form. I don't do the Google Docs things because, believe it or not, I'm a computer person, but that drives me crazy.
What?
But,
I'm shocked.
But for me, I have that one form in my happy planner, and the way I do my intentional talks is my people. I watch you. Believe it or not, if you're on here and you're on my team, somewhere down my team, I'm watching you. I know who I want to coach with. I know who I want to work with. I am watching you, and I'm taking notes. So the first of the month, whenever I'm ready to do my coaching calls for next month or my intentional talks for next month, then I can go to those people that I have jotted down. I literally jot down the top 3 things that I see that you could focus on in your business. So what I do is I see that, then I reach out to you and say, hey, I've been watching you. I would love to do an intentional talk with you this month. What do you think about it? And if they say yes, then I say, okay, you send me back. And this is the only thing that I ask them to send me, because I already have my numbers because they're on my sheet. I said, you send me back your top 3 things that you think you need to work on in your business. So when we get together and we do our talk, I have mine of what I have seen that person working on or what I think that person needs to work on. And then they already have their top 3 things of what they think they need to work on. So we kind of combine those, and then we pick out, what is most helpful for them to grow their business. Guys, it works. Ask Anna Charbonneau. April the 1st, I messaged her and I said, hey, I was watching you. I know what you've been doing. I know what your team's been doing. We need to talk. We need to set up an intentional talk. All right. I already had it written down on a piece of paper from what I saw was happening in her team in March. Okay. She was a star consultant in March. All right. Star consultant. And she might hate me for this, but she didn't get paid at title for being a star consultant in March because, her team was working and everything else. And she'll tell you this too. This is part of her journey. We sat down on April the 2nd with my intentional talk form. She told me what she needed to do. I told her what I saw that she was doing in her form, in her team and everything, and how her team was growing and what her team was doing. And we talked about those 3 things. And then she gave me her goals for the month after she told me what she needed to do. In 2 months, Anna went from a star consultant to a star director. Okay. She more than tripled her team. She went from, basically doing not even her 500 PRV to the last 2 months, she's got right at 2,000 PRV. So sometimes it takes you talking to that person and being very intentional with them to see what they need to do. Okay, you're not going to hurt their feelings. If anything, you're going to wake them up and say, look at what you have. You know, sometimes it takes, and Chloe's done that to me before, because I've sat in my fields the whole entire time, and I don't mind telling you this, the whole entire time I was a superstar consultant, I didn't get paid at title. The whole entire time. The first month I got it, I was paid at title. The first month I hit superstar consultant. That lasted for a year, because y'all know I promote once a year, so get ready. I'm getting ready to promote to star director. It's coming. It's coming. I only promote once a year. But so, you know, whenever Chloe was coaching me and everything, you know, she was like, what do we got to do to get you paid at title? That's what I needed to hear. What do you got to do to get me paid at title? I went a whole year without being paid at title, and I went from not being paid at title to kicking it for director. So, I mean, you know, you have to look and see what your coach is doing to you, what your upline is helping you with, or what, even if they're not your upline, if you have somebody that is there to mentor you, maybe you don't have an upline, or maybe you don't have anybody, reach out to somebody that has the passion to help you grow. Because I can tell you there's people on this team, there's about 7,000 of us now, there's people on this team that care about you, not because you're a number, but because you're a person and they see the desire for you. So I'm sure if you reached out to somebody that you admire, or that I'm not going to lie to you, I've reached out to Wendy Heath Newgas, I've reached out to Katie Farner, I've reached out to Stacy Behringer, and I was like, look, I really like, and I messaged them on Facebook Messenger, and I said, look, I really like the way you guys are doing your team. I like what's happening. I would love to be able to, you know, talk to you a little bit, or, you know, to see how it's going, you know. And I mean, that, you know, that to me is, I'm just watching people that I already got Chloe. I mean, I already got, you know, the best. So, I mean, but I like to get different perspectives, and that's kind of like how systems work. If you get different perspectives in your systems, and you find somebody that's going to care for you, and somebody that's going to help you genuinely without you being a number, you're being a person on a team, then you're going to have a very successful career. But don't give up just because you're not hitting your numbers, and don't stop doing systems just because you think you're not worth it, because you are. Sorry, that's all I got to say.
Felicia, Rob, I know y'all wanted to say something, so.
Yeah, so really fast, because I know it's late. A lot of people ask me, like, how did I get him involved? Well, to tell you the truth, I think when I first started talking to you guys, I told you I identify my weaknesses quickly. And in this business, some things you just can't be weak at. And I put a lot of, hey babe, I need your help with this. Help me figure it out. Okay? To the point, right, where he mapped out how I was going to earn Putakana. And he really did, like, yes, he mapped it out for me because he knew I needed it. He helped me learn Workstation because that was just something that I wasn't familiar with as far as, like, running reports. It was something that he was good at. But mostly, guys, when it was like, dang, she earned Putakana, dang, this is legit, dang, for two, completely free.
I mean, they even paid for us to get a taxi to go to the Fayetteville airport, and then fly to Dulles, and then fly to Putakana, and then get on. I mean, the whole thing.
He was involved before that, but it was mostly because I was a squeaky wheel in his ear, and he knew that if he wanted to shut me up, he was going to help me with what I needed. And then I took him to an all expenses paid trip to Putakana, and that's where he saw that it was legitimately real. Okay, because let's be real. Okay, most people look at a direct sales company if they don't understand it, and they don't believe it can be real. Right. And I'm not saying that in like a bad, way, but if you have a husband who is not involved, chances are he doesn't understand what it means to you personally, which he did. He knew my genuine reasons of joining, and he was going to help me stay in a healthy mindset. so he was going to encourage my business. But until I took him to Punta Cana and we actually like got off the plane and we were like, holy shit, we're in Punta Cana.
We had the time of our lives.
Hold on. Oh God, I forget I'm not muted. I tell him to shush often.
And it's almost 10 o'clock. I have to do a video on this.
Anyways, I honestly earn an incentive, but also, guys, tell them what you're weak at. I hate going to the post office. Guess who goes to the post office? This man right here. He is just as known as a Cincy person as me because I ask him and I intentionally give him tasks and he knows that I need his help. The best thing you guys can do for your business if you want your spouse involved is to speak up, because they are not mind readers and they suck most of the time. You're really great though. But seriously, they just don't understand what we need unless we like say intentionally what we want. Okay? And I did that from the very beginning because I identified my weaknesses, but also I took him to trips. I mean, we went to California to where he grew up, and that was extremely important to him. That was a trip we could have never done on our own. But truthfully, guys, we can do, well, Justin has done a spouse call, but if you want your husband involved, you have to ask him to be involved and give him small tasks.
You have to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is an important thing. I mean, she said we're not mind readers and not always the best communicators. But you do have to ask. And you don't have to push, but you do have to ask.
We're going to go mute now. Okay, I'm just kidding. That's all I wanted to say.
It was so, I mean, I could listen to them all night, but I know for time purposes, some of y'all are like, guys, I got to do all things tomorrow. But do y'all have any other questions? We are here for it. We want to help you. I hope that this showed you. I think where I went wrong and what I didn't say about Michele, and where I went wrong with all three of these, I've coached all three of these women for a while now. And where I went wrong, and listen to me, don't be this person. It took me 8 years to figure it out. When you're doing coaching calls, which we're going to talk about tomorrow night, we're going to break it down. It's going to be so simple. We're also going to do reports in the beginning. You have to, when you're coaching these people, figure out what's going to work for them. I never asked them that. I never said, hey, how do you work? Like, what's going to work for you? Not, hey, I'm going to send you 5 systems and figure it out. So now when I coach, it's totally different. You're going to learn that tomorrow on what I focus on. And I love even what Michele said. I'm going to try and do a video with her as well for you guys down the road on the intentional talks. Guys, we've got to figure out when you're coaching people and working with people and developing them as leaders, break it down, figure out what works for them, figure out what's going to make them tick, what's going to make them want to work, what's going to make them excited. I tried to get Queenie to use the systems, Michele and Felicia. They know this because that's all I knew. I didn't understand, okay, well, like they may not work like me, right? So now when I do coaching calls, I'm sending my people, if they have no form at all, I'm making a copy of every form I have so they can go in and edit it. So they can start, and they're not using mine. I tell them to erase everything and pour their brain onto it and then figure out how they want to work. I never did that before. So just know that like this is something new that we're all doing, and we're all really trying to help you guys realize that like you have to own your awesome. It's not about, hey, can I have this form and that form? It's about take what you learned tonight and put your head down and get to work and develop your own way of how you want to work, and along the way learn different ways to do that.
Y'all be surprised, but my intentional talk form is an Excel spreadsheet.
I'm here for it. All the Excel spreadsheet people are going to love it. That's why I actually texted you a couple minutes ago and said that we need to do a training on it. But, you know, listen, I think we're getting to the point, I'm going to be honest, and I just printed off my front line. I have 186 front line. So I know what you guys need now when it's stuff like this. You don't need any more systems. You don't need anything like that. What you need to learn is different ways people work systems so you can evolve into who you want to be, not like Felicia and all of them said, not who Chloe is, not who anybody is but you, because you're so authentic. And the reason why all three of these women are shining is because they don't care. They don't care what anybody thinks. They're like, this is me. And that's why they do so well, because once you tune into who you are and your true self, nothing will stop you. It's not about a system. It's about tuning into this is me. And you know what? I'm going to say, Chloe, I don't like that system. I don't like that. I'm not doing it. Like, to me, that is the foundation of a strong leader, realizing I don't like this. And look, I don't even know how to do the Excel spreadsheets, or I don't know how to calculate individually how I get paid. And I don't know how to make the things Felicia does. I'm learning too. And so, yeah, I just wanted to say that because, you know, I think a lot of people look at even where I'm at in my business and stuff. And guys, I'm still evolving and adapting and changing things I'm doing every month, because we got to grow. We get to grow. You got to change the way you're doing things. And a lot of y'all are stuck and you're not getting paid at title and you're not promoting because you're so stuck in figuring out this picture perfect system when you just got to start. So Felicia, Michelle, Queenie, y'all have anything else? No? Well, look, we love you guys so much. I'm going to stop it